80% of people have serious back pain at some point of their life. And many of those stay with chronic back pain throughout their entire life. And 70% of people are overweight. So the likelihood that you have some of those issues is super high. But whether you have those issues and you want to fix them, or you just have back pain, or you'd love to learn how to shrink your waistline and have the very most functional midsection and core musculature, that's what you're going to gain in this video with me here. Hey, I'm Robbie Stahl, founder of The Fitness Doctor, an organization that's known as being the world's leader in anti-aging fitness. And I'm so excited to share these insights that I've gained over the last few decades to benefit you personally. Whether you are trying to maintain physical health, gain age-reversing strength, youthful mobility, pain-free living, or improving physical function, the Fitness Doctor channel is here for you. So to gain inside access, click the subscribe button below. The thing that you should know when it comes to your core, your midsection, the way your back feels, and all of those subjects tied together is really that the foundation of all of that begins with your breathing and the way that that musculature works. Because the way that your midsection musculature works, which I'm going to teach you exactly on how to optimize your breathing, get you feeling better, get your back feeling much better regardless of the current condition, and shrink your waistline all simultaneously, all together with what I'm going to teach you. It's really important to understand what the core is and why the breathing is so important. So your core is basically all the muscles and tissues from above the knee to really the lower chest. And if you look at the center point of above the knee to the lower chest, it is your pelvis and your midsection. And the center point of that functionality, the thing that moves more than anything else throughout your entire day, is actually your organs and your breathing tissues. When you breathe, what should happen, not what happens for most people don't breathe like this, but how you should breathe is when you breathe in, your rib cage should expand. Most people do that. Your lower abdomen should naturally come out. Most people don't do that. And your pelvic floor should relax. Most people don't do that. And your organs should go down. Most people also don't do that. So here's what I'm saying. Go ahead and do this with me. Take a deep breath in. And when you take a deep breath in and your rib cage expands, feel that happening, and you let your abdomen gently and naturally come out simultaneously, what's happening is your organs are literally dropping down, clearing space for the lungs to expand. And as the lungs expand, your diaphragm drops down when it contracts. So that's like the sheath of tissue below your lungs. It contracts and drops down. And as it drops down, what happens is your pelvic floor relaxes. Now here's a huge area that most people that teach what I'm going to teach next miss. And that is, you can't just go around doing a vacuum exercise to train the abs, which I'm going to show next, because you'll over-contract your pelvic floor. 50% of women by the age of 70 have vaginal prolapse, which means their organs begin to fall through the orifice of their body. And most men and women have some level of hypercontraction in their pelvic floor, affecting things like urination, for women affecting pain and intercourse, and affecting all kinds of health factors that are so important for us, especially as we age. So when you breathe in, it's really important to understand that you should relax your pelvic floor. A good way to start doing this is you can do this from a seated position or seated on a ball. You can stand with your feet a little bit wider. And all of those are great positions. You can breathe in. When you breathe in, you feel your rib cage expand, abdomen comes out, diaphragm, you don't really need to think about, but at the pelvic floor, you almost close your eyes and feel like there's this looseness, this relaxation in your groin area. Make sure you've gone to the bathroom before doing this exercise. We don't want any accidents to happen on the floor. So with that being said, you do want to relax your pelvic floor. Relax and feel that total looseness. And then when you exhale, you don't need to over contract pelvic floor like a Kegel, but just a little bit. Feel your abdomen come back in and draw back in. So you draw back in, and what's happening is that diaphragm's coming up, your organs are coming up, and you're actually helping flush toxins out of your visceral cavity. You're literally using your diaphragm in this motion of movement of your visceral tissues, which are your organ tissues, as a second heart, which is the way that your body's actually designed to work. And when you do this, you'll have greater heart health, you'll flush more toxins, you'll train all of the tissues in and around your back to be more supportive of your spine, and also to place your pelvis in a neutral position naturally, which keeps you from excessive back arching, which pushes the stomach forward, making you look like you have way bigger abdomen than you actually do. Or for some people, their butt's too much tucked back and under. By having proper breathing, you're supporting the spine and the pelvis from the center point of the core the way it's ideally designed to. Let's do that again together. Do it with me now. Whether you're standing or seated, do this with me now. Breathe in. Rib cage expands. Abdomen naturally comes out. Feel all those tissues in your groin area relax as you breathe in. And as you exhale, draw your entire abdomen from pubic bone up to the lower rib cage. Draw that in, and that's setting the visceral cavity back up, and you're using those tissues as a second lung. As you do this, your waistline will shrink. You'll get all the mechanics effects of what I just shared with you. And now, what's most important that you've learned this is to understand you need to tie this in with your exercise. So when you go to do a deadlift, or you go to pick up anything in your home, for example, when you go to pick up, the most difficult part of the movement going down versus up is coming up. So anytime you're doing the most difficult part of an exercise or a movement, you should exhale. And when you exhale, what should you do? You should do exactly what you just learned. Exhale, drawing in, tissues are supporting, and what's happening is you have a transverse abdominal tissue which ties together your rectus abdominals, which is the tissues that you see on someone who's really ripped, all the 9-pack actually. Some people have 6, some people have 8 that are really lean, and some you might even see a 9-pack, that bottom V-shaped tissue. So it ties that. It ties your obliques, which are your tissues that run cross-directionally here. You'll see those in someone who's extremely lean. And it ties together the thoracolumbar fascia, which is like tendinous tissue that ties together your back. The anchor point of all that is your transverse abdominals. And when you exhale and or when you draw your abdomen in, you're getting the transverse abdominals to contract, which means that all your supporting midsection tissues have an anchor point to brace from. When it doesn't work properly, they have no anchor point, which leaves your back susceptible to injury, which leaves your abdomen susceptible to distension. So you lose on appearance and you lose on functionality, and then you end up gaining pain. So when you're doing activities such as deadlifts, such as squats, such as any lift, exhale, draw in, use those tissues. When you do something like a row, when you're pulling back, which is the hardest part of that exercise, you're going to exhale, draw in with the abdomen, which will fixate your pelvis in a properly aligned position, also aligning your entire spine and bracing your upper body to do the work for that upper body exercise. When you do a push-up, exhale during the actual ascension portion of the push-up. So I hope you're catching the point of what is the breathing mechanics, when to apply it, and the extreme amount of results that you'll gain from doing those things. Now, the only thing that's left to do is take those body mechanics you learned to apply here and when to apply them, and go out and apply them to your body on a daily life and within all of your exercise. I know how big those results will be for you, as they've been for thousands of others that I've taught, that have applied those things in their body instead of knucklehead fitness, lack of thinking about the foundations of the way their body works, and really apply those things and fully mind-body connect and enjoy that process of transformation. Now, I really look forward to seeing you in our next video together. Lots of love, and I'll see you soon. Remember, while you're human, you are also unique. So it's important to always consider the specifics of your own body. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to check out the next one right here. And you can click right here below to subscribe to our channel to get the very best content from our fitness doctor experts.